exciting. So we just had two hydrogen companies joining this consortium on the infrastructure side. Air Products and Air Liquide just joined in February, a month ago, this consortium that actually will establish the infrastructure in coordination with this other group of the car manufacturers. And we as Daimler are in there, and you see all the other companies there. Shell is there, Total Fina, and energy companies, NBW, that is an energy company in Europe. So basically, to build a business case that is agreed upon by all these partners that allows you to actually show that you can make a profit from this, that it's actually working. And then, after that business case is agreed by all the partners, actually roll it out. And I'm now going to go with you through about 10 slides that show a rollout plan for the next 10 years, how this is going to look like. Oh no, actually before we do that, we talk a little bit about money, sorry. So what has happened here, as I said, we have come together as a public-private partnership, industry and government. The German government has created these two groups here, one with the goal of preparing the hydrogen and fuel cell markets, and the other one with the goal of deploying an infrastructure that is actually able to support an electric future for transportation. And about 1.4 billion euros have been committed for a 10-year program until 2016. And industry is actually doing its fair share here. Industry is contributing 700 million euros, and government is contributing 700 million euros. So that's a picture of Germany. And from the northern part to the southern part, that's about from Chicago to DC, or from DC to Atlanta. Kind of roughly give you an idea. So this is the picture for 2010. In 2010, we have 19 fueling stations, and we have about 50 cars. And if you calculate a little ratio here, that's helpful. It's cars per infrastructure, per fueling station. And that ratio is 2.6. Go 1 year out, we'll bring that up. We have more cars, and we have a ratio of 4.0. And you see it's growing organically around these centers where you start, where you amass the vehicles, where you bring the infrastructure, so it actually works. Then in 2012, it continues to grow. We add more of those kind of hubs, if you will, centers, model regions, focus points. And it goes to 2013, and the density becomes greater. And we're already at a ratio of 13 cars per fueling station. That is all still within the frame of the government funding and industry funding up until 2016. So continue here, it goes up, and then in 2016, there's a huge jump. You see, all of a sudden you have 30,000 cars, and you can bring this ratio up to 123, meaning you have 123 cars refueling at one hydrogen station. That's really where the business case makes a lot of sense. And then you go onwards with the business case, and you see now you're actually spreading out from those regions, focus points, into really the rural areas. And then 2019, and then 2020, the plan is to have 1,000 fueling stations and a ratio of 600 vehicles per fueling station there. And that basically is a base calculation that all these partners that have agreed to come under this consortium have agreed to. This is an absolutely valid business case, and this is the target for the government and industry actually to roll it out like that. So let me summarize. The German approach here is the synchronization between the automakers, the energy companies, and the German government to lead really the transformation of the transport sector into a hydrogen economy. We've taken about 500 million euros, that is about 700 million US dollars from the stimulus package in Germany, and have dedicated this money to this project. This is all coordinated by a company that is 100% owned by the German government, and the target is really to build up the infrastructure. Europe is then basically jumping on board in the first quarter, and that's basically right now. The idea is that Europe is going to kind of mimic this German approach here. And there is right now a working group in Brussels working on a business case for the larger Europe to actually kind of take this model and spread it out over to Europe. Again, why hydrogen does make sense for us? Well, it is the most abundant element in the universe, and we have so many ways of generating it. And we can do it by green energy, which is fantastic. And I want to point your attention to an MIT professor, Daniel Nocera, that just recently actually published a paper in June this year. He found a new catalyzer that will make hydrogen generation so much more efficient that this could really be a breakthrough technology. It's all over the internet, you can read it up. Basically MIT News has all of it written out there for you. There's so much happening on this side of the hydrogen generation that we truly believe this is a very, very important part of the future energy mix. Another very important factor that we see is the load balancing of the grid. Obviously, you can take excess electricity, turn that into hydrogen, store it, and then return it back into the grid as electricity. And that's fantastic for wind or solar, because wind and solar have these load peak problems here. And again, here you have a fantastic opportunity to take the hydrogen technology to do this. So this all sums up to a strategic importance of the hydrogen economy that we see in Germany. We believe that will generate a completely new industry, will generate jobs in research, development, new companies, new products, new services, you name it. And it will obviously reinvent the automobile to a certain degree, but Daimler has invented the automobile, so we'll just do it again. And with that, I wanted to thank you for the attention here, and thanks again for inviting me and letting me share you these thoughts, how we do it